Good morning. Today we are starting our next objective in math. So we are starting with CO64. I can identify and label points, lines, and planes. So we need to know what these are, the definitions, before we can be labeling them on things. So a point is, is it going to write? It is a Monday. Mondays are not always my friend. We are going to do it with our on here. Okay. So let's do it this way. So, a point is a dot used to represent a location It's always written using a capital letter. So our points will always have a capital letter with them. An example would be point A. So that we would call point A. If we were on a plane that was W, X, Y, and Z, these points at the ends here would be, we would label that figure W, X, Y, and Z. But those are the points that we use to label it. It's always capital letters. Next we have a line. And a line connects two or more points It's always straight. Lines don't curve. It goes on forever. And it cannot be measured because it goes on forever. So when we have a line, you'll notice at least 2 points. You'll notice the arrows. So this would be point A and point B. This might be labeled the line L. So we could call that, if we put the AB with the arrows, that means line AB. It could also be BA. It doesn't matter which direction you go in, it's still that line, right? It's the line that has those 2 points on it. Or we could call it line L. So you could call it the line, that's that lowercase. You could call it by the points that are on the line that are capitals. They're all different ways to label your line. Then we have a plane. A plane is flat, two-dimensional. So it's not like a solid figure that you can lift up and hold. It's two-dimensional. It's flat. So it's a two-dimensional surface that extends indefinitely. So we might just see it drawn out like this as a shape, but we know it would really go on and on and on forever. So a plane doesn't have ending points. It just keeps on going. So an example would be this. We might have different things in there. So this, we could label it by points that are on it. So we could label it plane A, B, C, because we're going to use the points, or by the label that's in the corner. So for the line, you could label it by the name given to the line. Same thing with the plane. So this could be plane R, because there's an R in the corner. It doesn't have a point next to it, so we know that it is a label. Okay, because there's no dot given to our R here. The A, B, and C are next to dots, so we know those are points on the plane. So you can use either one to label your plane, either the points on the plane or the name given to the plane. Do those three different terms make sense on how we label them, how we find them? All right, so now it says use the diagram for the following tasks. Label the plane with a lowercase n. Label the points A, B, and C. Draw line AB. Draw line BC. And you're going to have to really pay attention to those details. What do those look like? Then you're going to draw your own plane with a lowercase m. That includes 5 points and 3 lines. So your plane might look a little different than my plane, but it's going to have similar things to it. It's going to have at least 5 points on it. It's going to have 3 lines drawn. What important things do we need to remember when we label a point? What do we have to remember? Hadley. Capital letter. What do we have to remember when we draw a line? Eleanor. Put arrows on the end. Okay, we don't want to draw segments. You want it to be a line. And if you're labeling a plane, you just put it off to the corner with the letter, no point, right? If it's the name of a plane, you don't put a dot next to it. Then answer your 2 questions on the bottom. Do we have any questions on what we're doing in today's assignment? Remember, the first assignment in our unit is usually kind of introductory, kind of not overwhelming and hard. After the last unit that we just had with all of the steps and all of those details, it's kind of nice to have a little break from all of that weightiness. So today's objective is a little bit easier. I am going to give a call down to Mr. Schultz to see if he has packet number 12, at least one of them printed out, and I could make copies for us, just so we could start going on that. It is, you have quite a bit of work time before we are going to be switching. So if you finish, I do expect you to first work on practice works that we didn't get done on Friday. All right, because we didn't have a lot of time for retakes on Friday. So work on practice works. And it's quiet and calm. Okay? It's not social time when you're done. Quiet and calm. Any questions? All right, if you are listening at home, I hope you are well, and I hope to see you soon. Have a wonderful day.